The climate was actually pretty similar to what I was used to in Utah. Like they've definitely got the four seasons. In the summer, it gets fairly warm. It'd be, in the 90s, maybe hit 100 once or twice. So, I mean, it's fairly warm in the winter or in the summer. And in the winter, it gets really cold and it snows quite a bit. It's different than Utah in that spring, summer, you get more rain than you see in Utah. So it's a pretty fertile country, you could say. But yeah, definitely a lot like Utah. I was surprised, the four seasons and everything. So it was pretty nice. They do have mountains in the country. They're not as big as Utah mountains, but there is mountains, and they do have a little bit of skiing there. So you will see some of that. In general, it's just a pretty green country. You get a lot of same type of plants and things that you'd see in Utah, pines and other trees. One thing that's interesting, maybe this is a little bit of a side note, but there's a lot of, I think it's lilac trees in English. And you see them a little bit here, but you see them more over there, and they have little buds that you can collect, and the Bulgarians would make tea out of these little buds. So that was one interesting thing about the plants there. Herbal teas are a fairly normal thing over there, so that was one interesting thing that I saw them do with the plants over there.
As far as like the weather goes, man, the first winter I was there was the worst winter they'd had in like 100 years. So I mean, 8-9 foot snow drifts. It was crazy. Our power went out one day, and we didn't have power for like probably 2 weeks. So we had like ice on the inside of our windows. They hadn't turned the hot water on yet. So a lot of the cities, they have a central power plant that uses steam power to generate electricity, and that hot water gets shipped out to the rest of the city. So it's called Parno, but essentially they turn it on at some point during the winter because it takes a lot more effort, obviously, to generate hot water that's not going to stay within their system if it's going to get piped out to apartments and houses for people to shower with and use, and heat, obviously, all the buildings in. That costs money, and they don't run things very efficiently there. There's a lot of corruption, so they don't turn it on for a while. So that's one of the things that's crazy during the winter. Like, if you're in a building that has Parno, like you can expect some pretty cold nights until it gets kicked on. And then after it does, a lot of the people can't afford high water bills, so nobody wants to be the first one to turn on the water. Because if you turn it on, you get all of the years worth of rust and buildup and everything that's in the pipes. So I have some delightful pictures of just like almost black water coming out of, the shower head and out of the sink and stuff. Because we're like, it's like $10 worth of water. We're like, dude, $10 extra or like hot showers, like turn that on, let's do this. So, I mean, it started black, and then it eventually looked like orange juice for a while, and then, it kind of got clearer. I don't know. But yeah, that winter was bad, but in general, it's not that bad. I mean, like the following winter wasn't bad at all. I mean, they're on the same level as Utah. They're right next to the Mediterranean, which usually that helps moderate the climate because you've got such big masses of water. So that'll keep it from getting bad. But they do have a lot of gray days. I mean, the sun goes down in November and it comes back up in like April. And so you can see it in people. There's a lot of like that kind of, like, I wouldn't say hopelessness, but it's a little bit of, it's like this, the winter mores, like people kind of get down a little bit because it's just gray all the time. It's just gray. So